as the narrative kind of fell apart, especially with the atrocity propaganda that was put out there with the 40 beheaded babies and the systematic mass rape. Now, I don't know if rape happened or not. I am completely open to the evidence that something like that did happen. The problem is when you say it's systematic mass rape and you repeat that over and over again, that implies that it was used as a weapon. This is dehumanizing propaganda that Hamas resistance fighters used rape as a weapon and as a tool. I have not seen any evidence of that. The LA Times had to retract the fact that that was put out there initially. The UN, this investigative body that Jayapal's talking about, that Israel needs to comply with, they actually tried to conduct an investigation and went to Israeli authorities and said, show us the evidence for mass rape. We want to document this. And they were called anti-Semitic. And Israel said, we don't want to work with an anti-Semitic body that is questioning these claims. So how are these claims supposed to be taken seriously if Israel won't even comply with an investigative body like the UN that is supposed to be the standard bearer, right, of international law that should be applied equally throughout the world? So it's cartoonish and ridiculous, Bree. And when you look at something, I want to go back really quickly to this NICU babies, the Washington Post headline that said that, I don't even know, it's such mental gymnastics to try to even think about how they phrased that headline to just essentially just say invading Israeli soldiers left NICU babies to die, which was exactly, going back to the Gulf War, the propaganda that we were told necessitated us to invade Iraq in the first place, because Saddam was such a brutal dictator and so barbaric that he was ripping babies out of incubators and throwing them on the ground to die. Well, that is happening right now in Gaza, and no one seems to care. And you have institutions like the Washington Post bending over backwards to try to excuse war crimes and atrocities. And people like Dana Bash wanting people to condemn Hamas. Oh no, this isn't about Israel and its massive war crimes that they are pledging to commit more and more and more. And the 70% victims, of women and children, half children dead, at least 8,000. It is inhumane. And Dana Bash, all she wants to do is talk about unproven allegations of sexual violence because they are desperate to greenlight what is going on. They're desperate to dehumanize Palestinians, to prepare us for what is coming and what is happening. And it is a disgrace. I don't know how these people call themselves journalists. Has she not seen the footage? Has she not seen what is going on the ground? It's crazy to me. Look, I know that you can lose your job and that you have to be a willing agent of empire and Israeli propaganda in order to have that job. Look at what happened to Mehdi Hassan, right? Even though he was tiptoeing very carefully and trying to do the both sides thing for a long time, but because he was too hard hitting to Israeli officials, he was shit canned.